Right, we're recording. Hey guys, welcome to Back to School Oils. Are your kids in school?
Not yet.
Yes, mine are. Mine started July 31st.
Oh my goodness. She lives in the north. I don't know why northern states do that. It seems like you would want to be outside longer.
It's year-round school.
Oh.
So they only get 7 weeks of summer, but then they take the extra 5 weeks before regular school starts, and they give them those weeks off throughout the year. So we get like 2 weeks off at the end of October, 3.5 weeks for Christmas, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. It's really nice.
Oh man.
So, but for us, it works nicely. But school doesn't start here till after Labor Day. Regular school.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's nice. We don't know when we're starting school. Okay, so I'm a homeschool mom. Generally, we start at right at the beginning of August because I like to take December off, but last year was a real beatdown for our family because we were doing 4 kids for the first time. We were doing all these different grade levels, and it was such a beatdown that I was like, we've got to start at square one. I got to figure out how to do this better. So I did not thrive last year, and we're really hoping to figure out a way to thrive this year. I will say that our health did thrive. Last year was our first year to use oils and natural things like that, and we haven't been to the doctor. I'm not one to really rush to the doctor anyway, but we haven't been. We haven't needed to go, which is pretty incredible. So basically, I have 4 kids. I live in Texas, and as a family, we've been using oils for over 10 years for things like making our own cleaning products and using them as like home fragrances instead of, the Febreze or the plugins or things like that that are just so toxic. So we've been using them like that for 10 years, but it wasn't until about a year ago, a little over a year ago, that I realized the potential that I was missing out on by not using them for our health, for not using them to keep our kids and our family healthy. So that was what kind of spurred this movement in our family to use essential oils to see just how much use we could get out of them and how much benefit we could get out of them. So that's what this is about. Today, we're talking about essential oils for back to school. And I know that if you've been searching for back to school supplies, you are probably a little ragged. I remember those days. At this point, we're going completely book free with our homeschool. That's the way we decided to go. So we're doing like 1 notebook per kid. But I remember the days of looking for that orange poly folder with Brad's with no pockets or whatever, the exact one that you have to get, and you have to go to like 3 different stores to get it, and it's so complicated, and you feel guilty if you have like that, you're the one mom who didn't find it. I feel for you. Okay. I remember those days. I used to try so hard to get them all. And then I found out that the teacher didn't actually even need all of those things because it's district wide. The list is district wide. So she wasn't even using half of the things that we turned in, which was a little frustrating for mama. But I get it. I know you guys have been through some complicated couple of weeks getting ready for school. And so I want to talk about the most simple way, the absolute most simple way that you can start using essential oils with your kids and that you can implement them specifically for back to school and all the things that you guys are dealing with back to school. So we're literally talking about 4 items. This is the kids' collection of oils. It's kind of a cheat. There are 6 oils in there. This is the kids' collection, so we're going to go all through that. What there isn't is a digestion product in there. So I do add this 1 roller right here of a digestion helper. The PB Assist Junior, I'm going to go through all of these in just a second, and the A to Z multivitamin. Okay, And the things that you guys told me that you wanted to talk about specifically, and I'm going to get to all of these, are what oils are kid friendly and kid safe. Transitioning to school, that is a huge one, and I really want to spend a few minutes on that one. How to keep teacher healthy. This is kind of a two-part thing. So my grown-up oils class for teachers and classroom use is going to be next Tuesday. So I'm going to be really, really hard hitting on how to keep teacher healthy. If you have a high stress job that's not teaching, that'll be helpful for you too. And also like immune health. So I'm going to talk about all of those things. Before we get started, let's just talk about what oils are. Essential oils, pure essential oils are literally the plant oil that remains after steam distilling. There's nothing added to them. There's nothing taken away. It's the medicinal properties of plants that we can use in our everyday life. There are a lot of oils on the market that say they're 100% natural and they're 100% essential oil, pure. And we have to be really careful about that. It's really good to do your own research. If you feel like a company isn't being transparent about that, there's probably a reason. And so the reason I ended up with doTERRA is because they were so transparent. You can look up every test, every sourcing that there is with the essential oils. And they just have a sense of integrity that I was really looking for in a company if I was going to use these for medicinal purposes. If I'm going to be putting oils straight on my kids, I need to know that they are safe. Another thing that I love about doTERRA is the way they source them. We're not talking about going into other countries and starting corporate farms. They've actually partnered with small farmers and created networks within these countries to keep the ownership of the farms in the native country where these oils are sourced. And that's really important because there's a lot of exploitation in the essential oil industry because we get our oils from all over the world. Every company gets their oils from all over the world. And so there are a lot of examples of exploitation. That was important to me when looking for an oil company. So for our family, we have decided that doTERRA is hands down the best choice for us. And if you have any questions about that later, because this is not what this class is about, but I would love to talk more about that. Okay. Let's get going. Let's start with, I'm not going to go too far into the supplements, but let's just start with that a little bit. Because when you're talking about your kids' health from a holistic point of view, you're talking about their digestion, you're talking about how well they're sleeping, their attitude, their emotions, their immune system, and all of that starts in the gut. When we started kind of transforming to a more natural, process with caring for our family, the food was actually where we started. They've got to get as much nutrient as possible because our bodies are continually producing new cells. If you're not giving your body a building block for those new cells, you're going to age more quickly. Your body is going to not be as healthy. You're going to get sick. That's when you talk about having irregular cells develop. So we really have to just fill our kids with as much nutrition as possible. We have to fill our own selves with as much nutrition as possible. And even though we try really hard to eat, plant-heavy diets and get as much protein and as much nutrients as we can, there are a couple of instances, well, in America, it's pretty much everybody needs supplemental help. So from doTERRA's point of view, we do have an A to Z vitamin, which is just a chewable, and it tastes like watermelon. My kids ask for this as if it were candy. They don't get it as if it were candy. And then secondarily, because the immune system starts in the gut, and most immune problems also start in the gut, we have this amazing probiotic. They come in these little sachets. You tear them open just like a pixie stick, pour them down the hatch, And first of all, they taste amazing. I actually take them myself. I take the adult probiotic, but occasionally I'll switch back and forth because the strains of probiotics that they use in this one are slightly different than the adult probiotic. So this is a really great product. It comes with 30, and I won't say that we give our kids these every single day, but if we're dealing with an immune system issue, if they've been exposed to something, if they're feeling kind of icky, this usually happens at night before we brush teeth. Okay, I think that's about all I need to spend on that one because I want to spend the bulk of this talking about the oils. All right, so doTERRA has this incredible thing called the Kids Collection of Oils. They just came out with it last year. And when we're talking about oil safety, having oils that are safe for our kids is really important. They have little bodies. We want to know how to use them safely with them since their skin's more sensitive, their bodies are smaller. There are a lot of companies out there who have a whole list of oils that are not safe for children. I want you to think about that as we go forward because there are no doTERRA oils that are considered unsafe for children. Okay, there's not a single one that is considered unsafe for children, and that is because they've been so tested and so tried. They're so pure that your kids can use them. That being said, there are some oils that are considered hot, so you wouldn't want to just put, for example, oregano straight on your baby's face. Okay, you want to know what you're using, and you want to know how to use it with little bodies. The smaller they are, the more you want to dilute them with a carrier oil. And so that's why we're going with the kids kit today, because I want to make this as simple as possible. But you could use every single doTERRA oil when diluted properly on your children. Okay, there are no doTERRA oils that are unsafe for children. I think that's a big deal. All right, so this kit comes with 6 pre-diluted rollers. Each one has several oils in them, so they're already pre-mixed, ready to use, and they tell exactly what to use them for on the outside of the bottle. Okay, there's no studying that you have to do to get ready for this. Make sure, okay, we're good on time. Also, what comes in the kit, so it has this nice little carry case and this little deck of flashcards. Mine are all out of order because my kids actually really like to use this and they like to take it apart and reorder them. But it says, like, for example, the Thinker blend. So that's the yellow one. It's the Focus blend. And it says, when it's time to get creative and focused, roll Thinker onto the back of your neck to support your mind and enhance learning. Okay, so that's just a really good little guide, especially if you're new to oils. You can get this out. You can use it the first day. Anything you come across, you can get this out and see if there's a way to use it there. All right, so what I didn't understand when I first started using these is they actually coated them in a couple other ways as well. So when you get the kit, you can actually buy these separately, and they just come like this. Separately, they're great. If you want all 6 of them, though, you're going to pay $5 more to buy them separately, and you don't get the kit, you don't get the topper, you don't get the flashcard. So it was worth it to us to get the kit because it all came together, and these are the oils that I send my kids to get on their own. I don't usually let them there it is. I don't usually let them do this mess on their own, but they do get to go to their own kit and get their own oils out of that. So they've coated them in 3 different ways. I'm saying coded, like with a D. This one has a little guy on it. I don't know if you can see that. It has a little guy on it. This is for body. Okay, so there's a little guy on the actual label. There's a little guy there too. These are called Rescuer and Stronger. So we have our body oils. These are to make your body feel better. We have our heart, see the heart? Our heart oils. And then we have 2 oils for the brain. And this is, again, just a way to think of your kids as a holistic person, and their immune system, their sense of well-being is going to come from all three of those areas. It's going to come from their body feeling good. It's going to come from their heart feeling safe and loved. And it's going to come from their brain being able to focus and not constantly being in that distracted state. All right. So let's start with the heart oils. Speaking of transition, we're going to start with Brave. Brave is a great one. When you're dealing with a heart condition and oils, I would say routine is really, really important. Kids are so sensitive to all of their senses. They're really in tune with all of their senses. So when we use something that smells a certain way, or when we're using the favorite oil in your house, Hannah says, is Brave. Yeah. When we're using just a sense of kind touch, when we're doing a routine, kids respond to all of those things. So if we're dealing specifically with transition back into school, if we're having a hard day or whatever, obviously, let's look at the thing real quick. The Brave Courage Blend. Before new or different situations, or just to start your day, roll Brave onto your tummy and the bottoms of your feet for a boost of courage and confidence. And I would personally put it behind their ears too, because first of all, it smells amazing. It has wild orange in it, cinnamon, amyris bark, and cinnamon. And in general, for things like courage and confidence, a citrus oil and a bark oil are a really good combination anyway, for grounding and for uplifting spirits. So if we're dealing with transition to school or a hard day, how we would use that is, let's sit down together. Let's talk about why we're nervous about school. What happened yesterday? What are we excited about school? And when we have that calm moment with mom or dad, and we're really letting the kid be heard, and we are using a system of kind touch, one-on-one attention, you're making that really safe place, and you're building trust with mom or dad. The scent that comes in that triggers a certain feeling in your brain, it actually will start to connect to that feeling of calm, to that memory. So, when you lay down at night and you hit your pillow, and all the smells from your pillow and all the feelings from your pillow, all of a sudden you remember that dream you had last night. Do you ever get that feeling? The same thing happens with essential oils and using them to evoke a certain emotion. So if you can create a sense of calm, safe, being heard, trust, and then talk about the good things that are happening in school. What did you love about school? Where was your success today? What are you looking forward to? Your child will start to associate that smell with those feelings of calm and courage. So that's how we use Brave in particular. The more you use them in that safe environment, the faster they work. On the other hand, the actual chemical components of the natural oils send an emotional response to your brain, even if you've never used them before. So it has like a physical component, and it also has like an emotional attachment component. It's really neat how they work like that. Okay, so that was our first heart oil. The second one is Steady. Now, I had to use this one just a few minutes ago because somebody had a full-on meltdown. And we won't be doing video games for a while. Yeah. Oh, I know you don't believe it. You don't believe it. No, it happened. We won't be using video games for a while because somebody had a continual outburst every single time. So what I did with this one is usually I don't put the oils right on the child when they're having a meltdown. I usually put it on myself because it actually helps me stay calm. I tend to think a little smarter when I take a minute to put oils on myself before dealing with an out of control kid. And that was a side effect that I didn't expect when I started using oils. I thought I'll just put the oil on the kid and we'll calm them down. But berserk children don't like you coming at them with oils generally. Okay, they know what you're up to. They know you're trying to calm them down, and they don't want to be calmed down. The most aggressive 2 words in the English language are calm down. Nobody likes to be told that. Okay, so that's usually how I did this. This person was so out of control, and it was a choice that he was making. So I actually did say, like, you're gonna have to sit there for a minute. Go ahead and put this on your feet, on your tummy, on your heart, and on your wrists, and just sit there until I can get to you. That was the level of berserk that we had earlier today. But this one is great. This one is great for that. If somebody is feeling overwhelmed, if you've got major homework issues and you can't even focus on those things, the Steady Blend is also really good for that. So feelings of being overwhelmed, which is really what happens when they're having a meltdown, is they're feeling overwhelmed with all the feelings. So it just kind of helps ground them in the place that they are. And again, this is one of the heart oils, so we go to the same place. Listen, what was it that made you feel so out of control? Do you think you can get back to that? And that conversation with mom in combination with the oils is going to make them more effective. Always. Okay, let's go to the body next. All right, these 2 are for the physical body. We have Stronger. This is the immune protective blend. Okay, this is like the grown-up version is On Guard, but the oils are completely different in this. On Guard is kind of spicy. Sometimes it feels a little stingy on the skin. This one does not have any of that. So the Stronger blend has frankincense, rose, litsea, and cedarwood. Those are all great immune supporting oils. We use this one. If your kids are going to be, going to school every day, I would use this every day. I would use this every school day for sure. I would put it on the bottoms of their feet before they go to bed. If they wear socks, especially, just, rub their little feet together and put their socks on. And then I would do it again before they got ready for the day. So Stronger is going to be one that's just going to help support their immune system, their immune system's healthy response. And then Rescuer is for aches and pains. We have one right now. This is kind of fun. I have like kids going through all these stages that I can share what we're using these for. But we have one right now who's going through she must be going through a major growth spurt. This is my 8-year-old Esther. Because for a solid week, she was crying with like shin splint type pains. And even in her thighs were hurting, and she hadn't been doing gymnastics or anything. So this one is like the grown-up version called Deep Blue, but again, it doesn't have doesn't have as much peppermint. It might not have peppermint at all. It doesn't. So Esther's really sensitive to peppermint, but it has spearmint, which is like peppermint's little sister. Okay. So it has lavender, which is known for calming, but also calming those muscles, and it also helps with pain management. And then it has a couple other oils in here that are not even in any of the other blends in doTERRA. So this one is great, especially if you find the grown-up version Deep Blue is a little much, and she does not like Deep Blue. This one is also okay sometimes for like a headache. You want to put it on the back of your neck if a kid's going through a headache. Just really any aches and pains that you're dealing with. But you do want to remember, don't ever put oils in your nose, in your ears, or in your eyes. So if you have something going on with your eye, just make sure it's right outside this bone right here. All right, and then we're going to go, since we're talking about the body, the one thing that the kids collection doesn't have in it is something to deal with tummy aches, which is crazy to me because I can't raise my kids without Digest-Zen. So this is the tummy ache blend. I made sure and got you guys a roll-on that's already pre-diluted, so you don't have to mix anything. This is already ready. So you just take off the cap and you're going to rub this right where it hurts. If they're dealing with like a reflex issue, you can put it right here. If they have hiccups, you can even put it right here because it has fennel in it, and fennel is great for helping. It's an antispasmodic, so you can actually use it on the throat if you have hiccups to help stop those spasms. And then, of course, what we use it for almost every day is somebody has a tummy ache, especially at bedtime. They like to have the mystery tummy ache that just shows up right at bedtime. I don't want to give them something from the medicine cabinet if I'm not even sure if it's a real thing, right? But there's no issue with giving a kid Digestin on their tummy. It's not going to cause any negative side effects. It's not going to mess up their digestion. So what this does is it actually helps stop tummy cramps, and it can actually help go if you can't go, and it'll help you stop going if you can't stop going. Okay, so it actually is really good for just leveling out the digestive system. It is probably the most used oil in our household because from adults to little ones, we all need that because we all overdo it. And it's just a really great one. It's great for gas, bloating, all of those things. So I can't ever try to raise children ever again without Digestin in my house. It's our number one used oil. It can even help if somebody is like continually vomiting and can't get a hold of that. It can even help slow that down. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the 2 brain oils. So Thinker, oh boy, I can't get that to focus, but there you go. Thinker is our focus blend. This one is great for when we're doing homework. If they are studying for a test or if they're taking a test, you can actually send this one with them. You might want to ask, I think most schools are completely fine with you sending essential oils and backpacks and things like that. But the neat thing about the Thinker blend is it actually can help with focus. Now, the writing is yellow, so let's see. It has vetiver in it, which is definitely known for helping with focus. Peppermint is great for memory. Rosemary is great for memory. And there's clementine in there also. Most Thinker blends have some patchouli in it, and this one actually doesn't. Thank goodness for many people who are sensitive to patchouli. Most people don't like the smell. My mom actually uses patchouli as a personal fragrance, so we like it. It smells like Grammy, but the Thinker blend doesn't have patchouli in it, and so it's neat because you can actually you can use it when they're studying, when they're getting the information for the first time. And then if you use it again, it's that same thing because it's connected to memory. It can actually spark a memory of when they learned this thing in the first place. That's kind of an old, people have known for decades now that using peppermint oil in the classroom when you're taking in information and then when you're putting out information as far as like taking a test raises test scores like through the roof. It's really neat. I don't have that right in front of me, but that's pretty much fair game at this point. Everybody knows that is true. So Thinker is a great one for that. And then this is another one of my favorites. So 2 that we use pretty much all the time are the Steady and the Calmer. If we're talking about getting good sleep, if they're having trouble with sleep, obviously you want to look at their diet first because diet is just a major part of that. Make sure they're getting enough water. They could be just aching at night if they're not getting enough water. Something could be weird in their tummy if they ate too late or if they had too much sugar, or maybe they're just buzzing from sugar or caffeine. Obviously look at their diet. But if they're just having a hard time settling down at night, Calmer, the Restful blend is really good. And the grown-up version of this is called Serenity, which is wonderful. This one is really heavy on the lavender, but it also has Roman chamomile, Kananga, and Buddha wood. So those are all calming oils. And And the reason this one is in the brain section is because when you have those racing thoughts, when you have that difficulty slowing down, when you're feeling overwhelmed, Calmer is also good for those kind of situations. So it's not just it's not just one for nighttime. It's for any situation when you feel out of control, you feel like you are just overwhelmed, from the kid's point of view. Okay, so that's it. I hope that seems simple, because it really is. I mean, they literally have the use of them on the roller bottle. Like, that is it. If you guys have, let me look and make sure you don't have any questions. If you have one, you can either unmute yourself or Motivate blend. I love Motivate. Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious, and if no one's on the phone and can answer today, or maybe later, if anyone has been successful in convincing teachers to start using them in the classroom.
Yeah. So I don't know. Every class, every school is different, and I really want to start talking about teachers, talking to teachers about this, because a lot of times it's the school in itself won't let them. And I think for the most part, it has to do with just some really terrible quality oils out there and people having allergic reactions to them. So when they're breathing these things in that are actually cut with other solvents and things, they're actually not contributing to the health of the child. They're actually hurting it. So they're hurting the respiratory system. And so it's a fine line. Like, it would have to, every school, as far as I've heard, every school is different, but I have heard that some teachers are allowed to use them. Teachers who believe in them can get around diffusing, no problem, right? You can use them as, this is really what the next class is going to be about, but you can use them as cleaning products instead of harsh chemicals. You can use personal diffuser things, you can put them on your body, you can put them in your hair. You can affect the mood of your classroom without a diffuser, without a plugged-in diffuser. But man, if they could, it would be incredible. If they could across the board, if we could just all decide, like, let's get a reputable company, let's get some really pure oils. And but I know that some schools have actually used them, like the peppermint and wild orange. They've used them while studying for placement tests or things like that, and then during the test, and they've seen huge improvement. So I think it's a case-by-case thing. But if somebody in the class complains, you're in trouble. Like, usually it's just, that's the end of it.
We had really good luck gifting a roller bottle to the teacher and then letting her kind of experience it. And I know if the teachers can't, ask the front office. Like in Kara's school, each child can bring their own essential oils for their personal use. But in the office, it's fair game. All of the office people have diffusers going constantly. So you can always ask them too, or the nurse maybe.
Well, I'm in a good position where my son's teacher assistant is a very good friend, and I haven't brought it up with her yet. We haven't started school yet, but I want to try and do something. I know my son, if he took it to school, would just forget about it or not do it, and he gets distracted quite easily. It would sit in his bag for the next 9 months. But if we can something a little helpful, then that would be great. I like the idea of gifting to a teacher. That's a really great idea.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Let's see. So I talked about next week, we're going to do a more focused on the teacher class. We're going to talk about managing stress, focus, energy. I have a couple of really good ideas for energy, and then how to use oils to keep your classroom healthy. That's going to be next week. I think it's at 2, but I've had a couple of requests that we change that to a time when teachers won't be in school. I get that too. So I'm going to try, I'll see if I can do that. at an after school time. I'll let you guys know. I do want to let you know that if you're watching this today and you decide to get, the kids kit for yourself, or if you are brand new and you have decided to start your membership this week, I want to give you a free bottle of wild orange, which is great to add to the Digestin, because Digestin smells like fennel, and that it's licorice. It's a really strong black licorice smell. Some people don't like it. I'm fine with it because I know how well it works. But if you add a little wild orange to it, it makes it smell a little bit better. So I want to give that to you guys if this is your first time. And doTERRA, as a membership, is really laid back. You basically sign up to be a wholesale customer, which means you get 25% off everything that you order in the next year. But there's no buying requirements. You don't have to order monthly. It's basically like a Costco membership. You just get what you need when you need it. And then there are ways that you can get free product by saving up points and free shipping. But generally, it is a very laid-back membership, one that I feel confident to say, there's so much benefit and no downside to it. So if that's interesting to you, I would love to be your oil lady, and I would love to just walk you through the process of starting to use essential oils and natural solutions with your family. So you guys, thanks for joining me. Is there anything else? I think we have 1 minute until we get kicked out.
No, this was very helpful. Thank you. I hadn't spent that much time with the kids collection, so this was really great.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we've been really happy with it.
Looking at the doTERRA website right now. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we've really liked it. I like to be able to send them to the thing by themselves, because I feel really good that they're safe and they're gentle, and they can just pick which one. I tell them, you need the green one now. Go get it. All right, you guys, I will talk to you soon, and I'm going to send an email in just about an hour with this video and then the links to whatever you might need. All right?
Awesome. Thank you.
Y'all have a good day. Bye.
Bye.